Before this video gets started, I want everyone to go check out Bear Archery Products. They are mainly a bow manufacturing company along with bow accessories and apparel. I think it was a couple years back I was just getting into bow hunting and looking for a bow to purchase. So I bought their bow. I came across their bow, bought a bow from their brand, and it has worked great for me in these past years. It is lightweight, easy adjustments, powerful and accurate. And if you're a beginner bow hunter, the easy, quick adjustment is great, and along with the lightweight. I know I go on long trips to the stand, so it is nice that it is lightweight for me to carry. I know the season here in Minnesota is ending, but if you're just getting into bow hunting or want to bow hunt next season, I would look into these bows because they are great. The amount of accessories that come with them, like the adjustments, the lightweight, the accuracy, it is a great beginner's bow. And with all those accessories, it is also a very cheap bow. Cheaper than other brands. That's why I bought this bow. I'll leave their link in the description, so on with the video. We're here now in town at Dollar General, and I'm gonna go in quick, get a thing of bleach and get a tub that I can put the deer skull in and soak it. So I'll get back to you guys when I'm finished. Alright, well, got the tub. Perfect. Now I can set the thing right in there. Yeah, I can set that right in there, and you already know we got the bleach. That's for later. We're gonna be drinking that. Alright guys, so we got the rack here, we got our stuff ready to go. I'm going to start here, pour this whole bleach in here. We got this bigger tub, so now the skull is fully submerged, and this is like 50% bleach, 50% water concentration, and this has been sitting in here for probably 24 hours. So that's what she looks like. It's actually not too bad. So yeah, it's a little bit white, but it's getting it off. I know this, so you might be thinking, well, this is a long process and I don't want to wait. Well, it is a long process, I will say that. I mean, this will probably be in here for another 5 days or so, maybe a little bit less. Okay, so the next thing I'm going to do is tape off this part of the, like from here to here. I'm going to tape that off with like masking tape. And then what I'm going to do is spray paint the skull with white spray paint, so it just gets all nice and shiny white. So we're going to do that right now. Okay, so we got our masking tape. We're gonna put that on here, right from like this to right above, right under actually this brow tine. Okay, so now we are going to do the other side, and I'm just gonna do the same thing from this bottom part right here to the just bottom part of this brow tine. Okay, so now that that's done, the next step is to just spray paint the whole thing basically. Get all the dark spots on the back, on the bottom. So it's basically all just shining white, and it gives it a clean look. So that's the goal that we're gonna try to get done. So here's the final result for the spray paint job. Still gotta let it dry out. It's pretty white. I'll maybe touch it up with a little bit more. But if you guys are gonna do this, I would just recommend bringing that tape up a little bit more, just for safety measures, that the paint doesn't get up on the rack or anything. But yeah, it's looking pretty good. Nice white, shiny. I might, like I said, hit it again with some paint, some spray paint, but I'll get back to you when I start making the board for it to hang on the wall. Okay, so what I went ahead and did off camera is put the skull right here and trace the outline of the skull. So when I place it here, I'm going to cut it out, and that's where the skull is going to set. So it's easy for if you put your skull up and just trace around it. I'll border up the line now so I can really see it. Don't worry about that line, guys, because later on we'll sand it down. Alright, so we got the rest for the skull carved out here, and now what I'm going to do is just go around the edges and hit these corners with a sander. And if you don't have like a sander, a belt sander, you can always take a file and just file it away, and it shouldn't be too hard. Or you could take just straight sandpaper, use your hands. But to get this carved out, I just used a regular handsaw, so those aren't too hard to find if you're wondering how to cut this out. But yeah, I just use a handsaw. But now we're gonna, like I said, sand it. So we'll get back to you when we get that sanded. got our board to set the skull, the mount on, and we got the edges all rounded off smooth, the top smoothed out, and then the marker we got rubbed off. That's why I said don't worry about the marker when you're drawing the outline, because we're gonna rub it off later, and we obviously did that. So, and then we got the edges rounded off as well, or smoothed out actually. So now the next step to this is, so you're gonna have this board set at an angle for that skull to set on, and then you're gonna have a board right here coming straight vertical. And what that board is for is that's the board you're going to screw into the wall. So it's going to kind of look like this, but instead of my hand, it's a board, obviously. Okay, so for this board, we're actually going to take measurements. So what I'm going to do is a 7-inch by, we're going to go by 4 inches across. That should give us a big enough board so we have room to screw into the wall, and so it's big enough to support that skull. So I got the backboard done. Smooth that surface flat, smooth the edges flat. Got these corners nice and smooth, and then what I did is rounded the corners so it's more like a formal look, not this like box shape, but it's like more of a, I don't know, just kind of makes it a little more formal, but you don't have to do that if you don't want. I just did it because I wanted to, but so now we've got both of these, and it's gonna look something like that. So you're gonna screw this backboard to the wall, and your skull's gonna sit there like this. So now, what I did is I got a piece of 2x4, cut a little block, and what it's gonna look like is you're gonna have that pressed up against there, but what we're gonna wanna do is cut this at an angle so that this will fit right in there like this. So we're gonna need to cut like right at an angle right here, get it all flat, and I think that should be good. I'll show you guys how I mark it. So you guys might be thinking like, this is gonna be hard, how am I gonna get this at an angle to fit this on here? But really, all you gotta do is take your board right here, set it down, take your other board, your 2x4, set it up against it. You're gonna cut this angle is you're gonna take your mounting board where you put that skull, and you're gonna take however angle you want this board. You'll just trace a line. See, if I went like this, I could trace a line like that. If I wanted it like this, just trace a line like that. I'm gonna get it at probably a perfect 45. So I'm gonna take it. It's basically gonna be from this corner to this corner is all. So it's a perfect 45 90-degree angle in here, but we're cutting at 45. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that. We're gonna mark that line right here. And now we're gonna put it in a grip and just cut it right down with a handsaw.
I've always known wrong from right, for the dark run into the light. I try to run and I try to hide. In the end, I guess I lost my fight.
Got that cut out. If your cut doesn't turn out perfect, always choose a thicker side, because now we're gonna give this a sand and it should make it just perfect size, because this is already a little thick to begin with, but we got some screw ups in here and like around here, so we're gonna sand that flat and smooth and it should be perfect.
They always win, you always lose. Oh, they got the law, they got the drive. Every car behind me is a car. Oh, every car behind me is a car. Oh, all the noise and all the lights, here they come left and right.
Okay, so there's what it's gonna look like once we get it screwed in. So you're gonna be able to screw this into the wall, set your skull mount right on there. Should be good. Now all we gotta do is screw this board into here and into here, and it should be good. Alright, so we got that figured out. It's gonna sit right like that, right on the wall. Your skull's going right there, you know. So all we gotta do now is wait for the paint to dry on that skull, and then we're gonna screw it onto here. So I'll catch up with you guys when the paint dries on that skull. Okay, we got the dry skull here. The paint's all dried off now. We're good to go, and screw it into our our mounting board right here. And what I found is probably about a 4-inch screw, somewhere in there, 3 to 5 inches I'd say. And what we're gonna do is take our skull, set it right on there, drill through the bottom and go up through. And one thing to make sure when you're screwing through the board, you don't want to screw like up in here, because your screw's probably gonna come out the tip, just barely out the top. You want to make sure you come back like to the center of the mouth back here, so it's not going to come through the top because it's so thick. So we're going to do that right now. Okay, so here we have the end product. It looks really nice. There's a side of it. We got the screw far enough back, didn't come to the top of the skull. All we gotta do now is mount it. This process of how I got this white really turned out nice. Plus the best part of this, if you guys don't have a boiler, it's really cheap. This is probably, all in all cost throughout this whole thing, is probably max 20 bucks, and it still turned out really nice. Really like the end product. Looks clean. So yeah, let's get it on the wall. Thanks for watching, guys. Again, don't forget to subscribe. We'll see you next time. Peace.